Brad Pitt learns about his daughter's engagement through the press. And what that reveals about a father left behind. Brad Pitt was once the embodiment of Hollywood royalty, suave, magnetic, a leading man whose face graced magazines and movie posters alike. But behind the red carpets and camera flashes, Pitt has quietly carried the heaviest role of all, that of a father. And now, as rumors swirl that his daughter Zahara Marley Jolie is engaged, what's breaking Brad's heart is not the engagement itself, but how he found out about it. Not through a heartfelt call, not a quiet conversation over coffee, not even a text, but through the press. According to a recent revelation by veteran British-American journalist Rob Shooter, Pitt had no idea Zahara might be engaged. A source close to the family shared that Brad was blindsided by the news, learning about it not from his daughter, but from the same headlines the rest of the world read. She didn't tell him, the insider claimed. Brad found out through the media. It was like a punch to the gut. And that punch landed hard. Because for Brad, a father of 6 who's long tried to maintain some connection with his children despite public and personal struggles, the silence said more than words ever could. He always wanted a relationship with his kids, the source added. But as they've grown, they've started making big life decisions without him. It breaks his heart and reminds him just how far apart they really are. Zahara, the once tiny Ethiopian girl adopted in 2005, is now a poised 20-year-old college student with a life entirely her own. She attends Spelman College in Atlanta, a historically black women's institution, and is a member of the prestigious Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. She's no longer the child photographed hand-in-hand with her superstar parents. She's her own woman. And that transition, as natural and admirable as it is, has left her father watching from the outside. The rumors of Zahara's engagement began when she was spotted leaving a Hollywood restaurant with a young man named Elijah Cooper. She wore a simple black tank top, a cropped cardigan, and loose jeans. But what caught everyone's eye was the dazzling diamond ring on her left ring finger. Matching outfits, radiant smiles, and a night out together in LA? The public did the math. The speculation was instant. But the reaction at home, at least in one home, was far from joyful. Because for Brad Pitt, that photo wasn't a happy surprise. It was a silent confirmation that he no longer had a seat at the table of his children's lives. The pain, as reported, wasn't just about the possibility of his daughter being engaged. It was about the way he found out. This isn't the first time Pitt has had to learn something important about his children secondhand. Since his highly publicized 2016 divorce from Angelina Jolie, custody battles and emotional rifts have kept him at arm's length. Though Jolie retains primary custody, Pitt has expressed, in rare interviews, his ongoing desire to rebuild bridges, to be present, even if from afar. He once said he was learning to be a better father again, hoping time would mend what the courts and tabloids had fractured. But time hasn't always been kind. And now, yet again, a milestone moment in one of his children's lives has come and passed without his knowledge. In the photos circulating online, Zahara and Elijah were even dressed in matching outfits, including Mickey and Minnie ears, seemingly heading to a romantic Disney-themed outing. A playful, sweet moment for a young couple, but a quiet heartbreak for a father left in the dark. Brad Pitt and his 6 children, heartbroken and left behind, once hailed as the picture of a perfect family. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's household once captivated the world. 6 children, adopted and biological, from 3 continents, surrounded by love, fortune, and fame. But that picture, glossy and golden on the outside, has since faded into a reality far more painful. A fractured bond, strained connections, and a father slowly fading from his children's lives. Today, Brad Pitt stands in a place he never imagined. Heartbroken, distant, and largely cut off from the very children he once cradled in his arms and called his world. According to multiple sources speaking to Us Weekly, Pitt has made numerous efforts to reconcile with all 6 of his children: Maddox, 23, Pax, 21, Zahara, 19, Shiloh, 18, and the 16-year-old twins, Knox and Vivienne. Ever since Jolie filed for divorce in 2016, Pitt's relationship with his kids has become a private battleground, full of emotional silences, missed birthdays, and public signs of estrangement. He is heartbroken, a source shared candidly. He sees the distance, he feels the tension, and it crushes him. But Brad has chosen to handle it quietly and privately. The silence speaks louder than words. While the world still sees Brad Pitt on red carpets, at film premieres, or in the occasional paparazzi shot, his private life tells a very different story. One marked by absence, not by choice, but by consequence. The actor reportedly still sees the twins, Knox and Vivienne, occasionally, but his relationships with the older children remain strained, and the signs are no longer subtle. In recent months, Shiloh, once the child most visibly close to Brad, took legal action to drop Pitt from her surname on her 18th birthday. Maddox, Zahara, and even Vivienne have also attended public events with only the Jolie name attached, a quiet but powerful statement about where their loyalties, or perhaps comfort, now lie. Behind closed doors, Pitt is said to be mourning this slow erosion of connection. According to Page 6, as the holiday season and his birthday approached last year, he confided to friends that he missed his children deeply and longed to rebuild a, quote, closer relationship with them. But rebuilding requires two sides. And not all bridges can be walked alone. Brad has always done well balancing being in the spotlight with protecting his personal life. One source told Us Weekly, praising his restraint and dignity in the face of such public heartbreak. He's not the type to lash out or go to the press. He processes it all very quietly. These days, Pitt is said to prefer a slower pace. No longer the tabloid magnate of the 2000s. He now surrounds himself with a tight circle of old, trusted friends, people who've been with him long before the headlines, and who understand the weight he carries behind his easy charm. Fame may have given him the world, but it hasn't given him back his family. And for Brad, that loss is not just emotional, it's visible, tangible, painfully public. It wasn't always this way. There was a time when Brad and Angie were the power couple of Hollywood, raising 6 children with what seemed like boundless compassion. Maddox, adopted from Cambodia in 2002, Pax from Vietnam, Zahara from Ethiopia. Then came Shiloh, their first biological child, followed by Knox and Vivienne, the twins born in France. For years, the Jolie-Pitt clan traveled the world together. Movie sets, humanitarian trips, red carpets. They were, in many ways, the modern global family. But behind the images was a growing storm. In 2016, that storm broke open. Jolie filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Then came the custody battle, the therapy sessions, the investigations. It was messy and deeply personal, yet played out under the harshest spotlight imaginable. Since then, the narrative has shifted, often against Brad. Some of the children, including Maddox and Pax, are rumored to have chosen estrangement. Maddox, in particular, reportedly testified against his father during court proceedings. Pax, while more reserved, has shared cryptic messages online, hinting at hurt and resentment. Zahara, as recent reports show, may be engaged, yet Brad only found out through the media, not from his daughter. It's a pattern, a painful one. Every milestone, every transition into adulthood, seems to happen without Brad's presence. And each one chips away a little more at whatever remains of their connection. Those close to Angelina have said the children have encouraged her to speak up and stand her ground over the years, a clear reference to the power dynamic that shifted after the divorce. Meanwhile, Brad has kept largely silent, speaking only through legal filings or the rare interview where he acknowledges his mistakes, his growth, and his ongoing love for his children. So where does Brad Pitt stand now? This is what it means to be a parent after divorce. To sit in a quiet home, scrolling through news feeds, and realizing the world knows something about your child that you didn't. To be punched in the gut, not by malice but by omission. To wonder, late at night, what might have been different if things had turned out another way.